What we're going to do is we're going to look at the Pythagorean theorem and special triangles. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, the a and the b don't matter, they're interchangeable, but the c is really important. That's always our hypotenuse. Our hypotenuse is always directly across from the 90 degrees. So if we look at letter A, we see that our hypotenuse is what we need to solve for. For letter B, same thing, we need to solve for the hypotenuse. Letter C, what we notice is that we have the hypotenuse and we have to solve for either A or B. It doesn't matter. We could pick A or B, or sometimes students just always like to use X. So when we're solving this, looking at letter A, what we have is 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 9 plus 16 is 25, and in order to get rid of a square, we take the square root. So our answer is C equals 5. Now for the second one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go 2 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. 2 squared is 4, 4 squared is 16. We add them up and we get 20. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the square root. Now this is a little bit more complicated. In order to simplify 20, we know that 20 is 4 and 5. And we know the square root of 4 is 2. So our answer is 2 square root of 5. Now for the third one, this is going to be different because we have the hypotenuse. So I'm going to use A. I'm going to say A squared plus 10 squared equals 14 squared. 10 squared is 100. 14 squared is 196. When I subtract 100, what I get is 96. And then I'm going to take the square root of 96. And 96 is 16 and 6. Square root of 16 is 4. So it would be 4 square root of 6. Now that's the Pythagorean theorem. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at special triangles. With the special triangles, what we have is the 30, 60, 90 triangle and the 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now the 30, 60, 90, the 30 degree side is always x. The 60 degree side is x rad 3, and the 90 degree side is 2x. Meaning if our x value was 5, our 60 degree side would be 5 rad 3, and our 90 degree side would be 10. Our other one is 45, 45, 90. This is a little bit easier because when the angles are the same, that means the sides are the same. And the 90 degree side is the only one that's different, which is x rad 2. So if we had sides that were 5, the other one would be 5, and this would be 5 rad 2. So let's look at a few examples. For the first one, they tell us the 30 degrees, so we know it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. That means the 60 degree side is 3 rad 3, and the 90 degree side is double that, which is 6. Now letter B is a little bit more difficult because they give us the 60 degree side. Now remember, the 60 degree side is x rad 3. So 5 is really x rad 3. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find the 30 degree side, which we always have as x. So in order to get the x by itself, we divide it by the square root of 3. Now this brings us to a point where we can't divide a number by an irrational number. So we're going to rationalize it. Rationalize it means we multiply the denominator by the top and the bottom of the same number. 5 times square root of 3 is 5 square root of 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So that would be our 30 degree side. Now our 90 degree side is always double that. It's 2x. So if we take this and times it by 2, what we're going to get is 10 square root of 3 over 3. Let me make the 10 a little bit nicer. Now for letter C, what we have is a 45, 45, 90. So if one side is 7, that means the other side is 7. And the other side is x rad 2. So that means it would be 7 rad 2. Now for letter D, it's a little bit different. What they give us is the hypotenuse, which once again is x rad 2. So if we're trying to find the x value, what we're going to do is we're going to divide it by the square root of 2. Once again, we have to rationalize it. And so what we get is 8 square root of 2 over 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. Now we can see that we simplify this a little bit more, and so our answer is 4 square root of 2. That means both sides are 4 square root of 2. Let's look at 4 more. So with this right here, we see a 45, so we know this is 45, 45, 90. If this is 6, then our other side is 6, and we have 6 rad 2. Now, if we're looking at this next one, we have a 30 degrees, so we know that this has to be 60. If the 60 degree side is 10, we're going to divide it by rad 3, and then we rationalize it. So what we get is 10 rad 3 over 3. Our 90 degree side is always double the 30, so that would be 20 square root of 3 over 3. Looking at the next one, we have a 45, 45, 90. If this is 2, we know this has to be 2, so this is 2 square root of 2. Now for our last one, we see that the 90 degree side is 9, and so that would be the x rad 2. So we divide it by the square root of 2. We have to rationalize it because we can't have a group that's irrational when we divide things. And so what we get is 9 square root of 2 over 2. Oh, wait 1 second. I messed up on that. This is not a 45. This is a 30, 60, 90. So that would just be half of 30. So that should be 9 halves. I apologize for that. And so that means the 60 degree side is 9 halves rad 3. Totally different answer. Let me make the 9 a little bit nicer.